Good morning. Thank you for joining us on The Choice on Equa Television International. Do well to join us on Facebook and YouTube. We're live and we cover the Goba and then the National State Assembly election today. And then today I have Joyce Jakada and I have Saleh Lesha with me in the set.
Good morning, Sambu.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, happy governorship and state assembly election.
Well, we look forward to the end as happy ending. And obviously from the environment, the body language, people are peaceful, and of course we can say nothing but we are anticipating a happy end.
Yeah.
True. Because I was so excited this morning, the fact that we, just like she said, anticipation coming from people. I can see, like, I was so shocked when they said the election started as early as before 7. I was like, wow. I mean, I'm really excited. And
Like people are out.
people are out. I mean, somebody was woke up as early as 5:30. I'm like, wow. I love the spirit. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, we'll gladly want to hear from you how everything is happening in your own polling unit, regardless of the state. So just do well. Later, the phone lines will be open. Later, then we'll receive reports from across the country to hear what is happening in your polling unit. And I feel today there will be a lot of anxiety from the electorate to even the candidates, because the candidates today, you know, their fate will be decided by the electorate. So we feel later we will know who is winning and who is not winning. And remember that this is a game, is not a do or die affairs. And in this studio, we'll update you bit by bit what is going on. So just do well and just stick with this station, because we believe in nothing but the truth, and we'll do our possible best to see that we'll bring you the best report so far, as we hear from you also what is happening in your area. So by permutation, people were talking about issue of voter apathy based on what happened on the 25th of February. People are saying all sorts of things. People are saying, yeah, people will not come out. People are discouraged. People are disappointed. Some are saying because of what happened, you know, they believe that people will come out no matter what, regardless, you know, and then some are saying that they believe that INEC have learned her lesson, and then she will upgrade in her operation. Let's just start on that note.
Well, I think I must give it to INEC, going by what I've observed so far.
Okay.
Like INEC officials were early, and that's in line with what INEC actually said yesterday. They assured of early arrivals of officials, and for me that's contrary to what we saw during the presidential election. There were issues of late arrival, like as late as 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon, where counting was even supposed to commence. But going out this morning, and then from observations, different polling unit cut across, like just not local government, and then from our correspondents in other places as well, INEC officials actually arrived early, and they are all seated, ready, set up, and all of that as early as 7. Some even arrived before 7. So I think that is really commendable. And then going by that, you can tell that, oh, this election is going to commence early, and look at, like you can see from the video on the screen, they were all early doing the needful, and more like they are prepared, and everybody has learned from the previous mistake you get. So I think on early arrival, we must give it to them for this gubernatorial election. And for me, this election is historic, because it's going to produce 28 governors, as well as new set of for some returning state house of assembly members. Already at some of the polling units that we've observed this morning, we've seen that securities are also on ground, very timely, and I think we must give it to them. Sensitive materials have already also arrived at all of these polling units. And just like we saw the security operatives there, they also assured of citizens' safety. They also assured of the safety of these electoral materials at the polling unit. So now as we await the voting to commence, we think what is more important right now is for the citizens, as they go out there to exercise their civic responsibility, they do it peacefully, do the needful, and not going against any of the electoral act, because as we can see, going by the electoral provision, once you go against what is provided, like towing the path of violence, election might be cancelled at your polling unit. So we need to desist from that. And for the early arrival, I think I give it to INEC.
True, picking it up from there, I'm really excited, just like I said earlier, on the fact that they were early, even before 7. The INEC officials were already on ground. People are actually coordinating themselves in a peaceful and an orderly manner. That is to say that with all the, will I say, fears we were actually having, when I say we, I'm talking about INEC and also some stakeholders were actually having fears. We remember even Abdul Salam said that this election is quite complicated and worrisome, but so far we can see that things are actually moving very peaceful. So far we can see that all the fear of INEC officials being late, we didn't see that happen. In fact, I was excited on my way coming. The observation I had, like, everybody is actually coordinating themselves in a peaceful way. Already the waters are set for you, your thumb printing and everything. I think this is the right way, the right direction, and I think it's high time that we also stick to time. So I love the fact that we're sticking to time, and even so far we've not heard any report of any violence. We've seen that even the security agency are already at the various polling units where they should be. So I think it's the right way, the right direction, and I hope that we continue in this manner because it's very important. We saw yesterday some groups were actually reminding INEC that they need to actually write off their wrongs, because people were actually having people had actually taken out their trust. Like, people don't trust INEC anymore, looking at what happened during the February 25th, the issue of irregularity, the beavers and all that. But so far we can see that they've actually learned their lessons from what we can see. So I'm really happy, and I hope that we continue in this space. And that's talking about the INEC. I hope that they continue in this space, because it's very important. Whatever they do now, this will actually determine if the next election Nigerians will actually trust them, to be sure that they don't go against their own guidelines that they actually give Nigerians. So to make sure that they protect the lives of every Nigerian inside their franchise, and also to Nigerians that are out there to actually vote. It will be important that let us put aside whatever grievances we have and actually make sure we do the right thing right now. Coordinate yourself in a respectful manner. If you're there, make sure you exercise your franchise, and then you could stand from a distance and observe to make sure that your vote counts at the end of the day. So I think this is really to really applaud INEC for actually doing a very good job. Security agency are there. We hope that we will not hear any issue of snatching of ballot boxes, talks actually doing anything. So I'm really, really excited to all that is happening so far.
So already we are commending INEC for coming out early. So the
far,
end result, that is when we will know whether they have cleaned up those gray areas, that people were pointing hands on. And looking at issue of voter apathy, do you think, based on what you saw while coming, do you think people will really come out for this election?
Well, I think people are going to turn out for this election. Now, let me tell you this, myself coming out, it gave me hope. If these INEC officials can come out as early as 7 and they are waiting, so people will just, even if you decided, I'm not going to vote, but see, they are all available, and you just go within some minutes, cast your vote and go. Yesterday, during one of our shows, we had how young people, older people called, and more like Nigerians are encouraging themselves, regardless of what happened during the presidential election. The process might be so full of irregularities, as so many have pointed out. No wonder we've seen some political parties in court already because they pointed out some faults as regards the process. But I think even the gladiators of those political parties that felt, oh, the process were not good, like the presidential candidate, they called on their supporters not to lose hope but go to the poll. And I think that is actually commendable. We saw how the presidential candidate of PDP, Atiku Abubakar, calling on the PDP supporters not to give up but go out and still vote during the governorship election. That of Labour Party emphasized on the need to vote competence. Regardless of party, vote competence. Like we've seen so many stakeholders coming out to talk, and I think that is applaudable. And with that, Nigerians also, after the announcement of the results, so many people were not happy with it, but later on people had to encourage themselves. It was a situation that depressed so many people. We saw how a young lady killed herself after the result was announced because her candidate that she so believed in and felt, oh, all the perils that she's facing is going to bring an end to it when he emerged as president. Well, following the announcement by INEC, she felt discouraged and she killed herself. We've seen protests all around the country, like cases of insecurity even before the election. But yet people turned out during the presidential election. The case of Jennifer in Lagos, even after being attacked, stabbed by thugs, she still came out with bandage on her face, blood dripping, and she voted. So it means that Nigerians are resilient. Yes, even though we know that we are discouraged, some are discouraged at the process because we can't, some are actually celebrating. So some were discouraged, but even at that, it was just some momentary feelings. The people directly involved, the presidential candidate, have told the part of court already. So, and they have encouraged their voters. So I think with what we've seen so far, INEC arriving early at the presidential election was the fact that they came late. And imagine you waiting till 1 a.m., 12 a.m., 5 p.m. before voting. As at one of the polling units we observe, as at 12 a.m. of the 25th, like 12 a.m., that's 26th. People were still on queue. And as at that time, they are yet to vote. You get? So that already can just discourage you. Oh, this time around, I won't go. These people that will never come. Some people have concluded they won't come early. So I'll just wait in my house whenever they come. But now coming out to see that, oh, these people are already out. INEC officials are arrived. Security are already on ground. So what will stop you from voting? So I think Nigerians at this point have encouraged themselves. And that is why they will come out and vote. We've had promises. We won't take away the fact that people are already discouraged. And that's why we kept saying that it's up to INEC to redeem its image. And from the arrival, we could tell that, oh, INEC INEC are actually taking note, improving on some of the mistakes that people pointed to. And that's why we said we give it to them. So far, the early arrival is a good one. So we applaud the officials for doing that. And I think we are up here so people would know that INEC officials are on ground so that you can go out and exercise your franchise. We can't take away the fact that there are some polling units that officials are yet to arrive. But like majority of the ones we've observed so far are already on ground, seated and even waiting. That's commendable. So I just encourage people, regardless of how you feel, it is our civic responsibility. Like voting, that is when you vote, it is your voice. And your voice, you deserve to be heard. And the only way you can be heard is when you go out there and elect the right person. Imagine when you keep lamenting, oh, bad leaders, this, that. This is the time that you're supposed to be heard. We said this election is historic. It's going to see to the emergence of governors, State House of Assembly members, and if you elect the right ones, you come up with right policies that will be of benefit to you. When you don't participate in the process, bad leaders will emerge. And at the end of the day, you still go through what so many young people refer to as SAPA. So I think it's going to be important for us to all go out there and exercise our rights, and not just going out to vote, but ensure that your vote count is uploaded and before you leave that place.
Yeah, you know, I'm also of the same spirit. I believe Nigerians will actually turn out in mass to actually vote for their own candidate at the end of the day. Yes, with all that happened and with all the grievances, I think it's important at this point in time that we put aside whatever problem it is, because personally, from the observation I had, people are actually at the polling unit. In fact, just like I said, from around just north side where I was coming, downside whole Shetudunwada side here in Plateau State, when you come in, like I remember someone, a neighbor of mine, was calling my younger sister as early before 7. INEC officials are already here. What are you doing at home? You get so that is to say that no matter what it is, there are Nigerians that still believe in the fact that INEC can do the right thing, and that INEC actually, right off their own by being early. Then I think it's important. So it's kind of a way of encouraging those that feel that they don't want to be at the polling, or they don't want to exercise their franchise, come out to no matter what it is. So I'm really excited with the spirit that we don't want to allow, no matter what have happened, to weigh us down and make us feel, because at the end of the day, we work with our emotions. We can never get things right in this country. So it's high time we work with our intellect and realize that it's high time we do something positive in this country. And I'm happy with, so far, the turnout. People are still coming out. So I believe that Nigerians will come out and actually exercise their franchise, because it's very important. Just like we say, if you don't turn out, you're giving room to bad leadership. And then at the end of the day, we'll all suffer from it. Because one thing is that they say we have bad leaders because somebody somewhere refused to actually do the right thing. So I believe Nigerians will come out, because so far from the reports we're having, Nigerians are coming out. If INEC have taken the first step, right now we are hoping that we'll not have any report of hearing that beavers are malfunctioning. I am hoping that that will not be the story at the end of the day. But then, so far, so good. We can see that Nigerians are really, even though some polling unit, we can see that very few INEC officials are, but most of the polling unit, INEC officials were there ready. Some are even seated, waiting. So I think this is the right step in the right direction. And I'm encouraging, using this platform, for those who are still sitting at home, to please actually turn out and go exercise your franchise, because not only is it your voice, it is your civil responsibility.
Yes, talking about beavers, I from the polling unit I observed, because I came out as early as 6 o'clock, trying to find my way to the office, and I just branched some few polling units around, and then one of the polling unit, I just hear them discussing, even in the hearing of the INEC officials, like they were like, that last time we will not take it. Not in an aggressive manner, but they are just discussing in a friendly manner, but like last time we will not take it, because how can they tell us that these Senate and reps, they were able to upload, and then when it came to the presidential, the guy just played us and he told us certain things. So I just hope that today, these people just make sure your beavers are working wherever there is network. Make sure you fix it, because we want to be here and then make sure that everything is uploaded. And then the guys were just doing their work, signing the standing and stamping, and I believe they had them.
Of course.
They had them. And then I was trying to ask, even though when I came out the last time, I saw crowd. Like I was shocked when I saw that kind of crowd at that particular time, and there were no INEC officials. They were just waiting. As early as 5 o'clock, some people went with empty buckets, jerry cans, as if they are going to fetch water. Yes, but today there were not that crowd.
Yes.
But I now noticed that people already came and picked number. Because I was curious, I was like, what's really happening? Is it that because of this issue of voter apathy, people are not coming out? Then they now told me that people came, and then the last person was telling me he was number 150 or thereabout, like as of that time. That is male, because they have 2 queue, male and female, So, and I hear some people calling people, like, you have to come, or did you pick number? They are calling their colleagues. But there was one worry, they were lamenting that some people feel they are not indigent. And, is in their nature when it comes to issue like this. And quickly, that reminds me, you know, that's worried of yours when you always say with passion, you know, people will just feel that this is not my state. After all, it's their business, it's the indigent business, so just go out and vote. And I notice it's just the indigents that are around there, but I don't know, maybe they came and picked number or they will come out later. But I feel it's wrong. You know, wherever you reside, it is very important this particular time, because whatever you do now, it will affect you in the next 4 years, because whoever becomes the governor or the members of House of Assembly, together they will make policies, and that policy will affect you. Like the way you said, if in your tradition they say you should not wear white clothes, from where you are coming from, and then they decide in this state that anytime you are going, you are to wear white t-shirt, you have no option. It's either you wear or you leave the state. You understand? So you just have to.
Over time, we've seen how people played ethnic cards, especially during election. That has generated a lot of tension currently as we speak, because of what has been happening in Lagos State, going by the ahead of these gubernatorial elections. People have been expressing fears. We've seen how people were told, if you're not, go to your land and go and vote. If you know you're not coming out to vote for us, with the tribe in quotes, then don't come out. And I think that has not helped us. Look at where we are today as a country, as a state. Think about it. The card that you have been playing, the ethnic card you've been playing for years, where has it brought you to? I think we are in contemporary dispensation. We can't be thinking locally. We can't. We have to start thinking globally and acting locally. You get, if we want to move from where we are, let's think competence beyond this ethnic card that we've been playing. And again, like I've always said, if you reside in a state, it is your civic responsibility to go out and vote. Don't say, oh, it is let the indigenes. You live in that state, and just like you said, if you don't like wearing white shirts, and the governor that comes in and other members of State House of Assembly say everybody from May 30th, like from May or June 1st, you start wearing white, you must wear it, because you refuse to vote for the person that will say wear what you want to wear. You get. So we must collectively, as Nigerians, because the Constitution has given us that right to live wherever we want to live. It is our right. And because it is your right, when you go to that state or when you live in that state, most of the people cut across different states in Nigeria were born and brought up there, even if they are not indigenous of that state, by virtue of business, by virtue of work, by virtue of even relationship. People have found themselves in different states that maybe not their state of origin. You have to participate in the process. You can't say, oh, it's not my state, let the people of the state elect.